Hey my friends, morning, how you doing? Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast. On the podcast where we talk about happiness, success, and full potential. Getting to live your best life. Believing that you're not doomed to stay stuck somewhere where you don't want to be, where you don't like to be. Believing that through incremental shifts, through positive moves, through the information and the action, the focus action, you can take yourself to any life at any level, from any stage to any stage you want to be. And we believe that, and that has been proven. That is not a matter of opinion, that's a matter of fact. And after everybody's finished complaining about the government, their skin type, their skin color, their background growing up, the connections they have, their education level, after everybody's finished using that as an excuse, I could supply them with thousands of examples of people who have made it with worse circumstances than the one that they outline and that they believe for themselves. So that is usually the greatest shift you need to make, believing that you are capable and you are worthy of more, and you are worthy of something better, and you are worthy of not what everybody have, but you're worthy of whatever you desire, you deeply truly desire from within, because those desires are a mere indication. That's all they are. They are really an indication of the capacity and the potential that is in you. The minute you realize that, it is life-changing. It is life-changing to realize that, look, this thing that I'm feeling, I am only feeling it because I have the potential and the capacity, and there's a calling on my life. This is my role in the universe, and I must find a way to use this to serve. And by serving, you automatically, as a byproduct of service, you bring whatever it is materially and emotional that you want in your life. As this Chinese proverb says, that there is always fragrance left on the hand that handeth the rose. And understanding that the greatest form of getting is giving. You will never feel any higher level of achievement when you give than ever. There's the giving, the feeling you get from giving is the greatest getting. So I wanted to talk this morning about what is not often spoken of. And I'll kind of use the way I was brought up. I was brought up in a religious way. My grandmother raised me, and we came from rural Jamaica, third world country, and I was raised in a small community, and it was predominantly, coming up through the generations and everywhere around me, was heavily religious. So there was a strong leaning on faith, and my grandparents are pretty close to the colonial days, and they were raised with the what should I say, the spin-off mentality and conditioning, the subconscious conditioning from slavery. So they were, success for them was being able to have the freedom, to have attained their freedom to raise their families, get an education, have the right to go to any place they want to go to, and the right to exist without persecution and without having horrific acts of terror being unleashed on them. So they move from bondage, which is the worst thing. The lack of freedom is the worst thing ever, to being able to have freedom and to be able to raise their children, work for their own living, have dignity in practicing the beliefs and the functions of life that they think is suitable for their daily life. Being able to work and provide for their families and have the freedom to exercise basic liberties. You know, go to bed at this time, go to work at on their own to earn from their efforts and that sort of thing. So the opportunities weren't so widespread as they were today. There were limited opportunities for them. You know, they couldn't afford to send their children to college. They were just trying to figure out how to put a shelter over their head and to feed and clothe themselves. And because of that, the thinking was in alignment with the opportunities that were possible. So growing up, I hear a lot that there's no better. What else can you do? We just have to take this. That is not for us. You're not able to do that. We're not able to afford that. Take what you get. Go work for this. Be grateful that you have that. Be contented with this. It could be worse. And there is a lot of not negative but limiting beliefs. There is a pile load of ceilings, glass ceilings, and sometimes real, that was placed on their existence and their capacities and level of aptitude, for want of a better word, or level of capability to achieve. There was a lot of ceilings and restrictions. And we grew up in that type of framework. So most of what was relied upon was faith. The faith of religion and the hope for something better tomorrow. But one great thing that came out of that for me, I don't know if it was just sheer necessity or nature of my grandmother, but there was her default mode was to work. So here was a lady, 5'5", 120 pounds maybe, and had 8 mouths to feed in the house. And she was a widow, and her husband died when I was 3, my grandfather, and she had to do it on her own. She never remarried. She had to do it on her own. And it was tough for her. And she was a religious lady. She has a strong faith. She believed in God. And she always encouraged us to be positive and hopeful. And now I've arrived at the word that I want to speak about. Hopeful. But in all this hope, one day I heard, hoping for better tomorrow, hoping things will work out, hoping the rain will come so the crops can come to something, hoping God will spare our lives, hoping one of the children, my aunts or uncles, will send some money so we can buy food, hoping we will remain healthy, hoping we will be able to access better education. There was a culture of hope everywhere around us, in that was heavily brought on from the hopelessness of slavery and the fact that the whole race was coming out and have come out, and there was a strong, like Martin Luther King, have a dream. But looking back, I have never one day saw my grandmother wake up in the morning sat around or lie in bed hoping for something. She's always moving and hoping. Moving and hoping. And somehow I think, I don't know if it's the restraints of the conditioning or the power of because the subconscious messages are powerful, but somehow there is a large percentage of the population that got stuck at hope. And as the years roll on, all through my life I've been exposed to people who did move and hope. So it was a sort of I hope with no responsibility or duty to move in the direction of what you hope for. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the other side of hope. And I want to bring the message that hope is two-sided. And if you're not moving in the direction of the thing you hope for by actively taking action to realize what you hope for, then it cannot be categorized as hope. It is a wish. And a wish is what my 6-year-old does. Oh, I wish we didn't have to go to school today. Oh, I wish I could jump off that building like Spider-Man. And it is an empty concept of the mind that is the like chewing gum of the blissful state, being in the state of fantasy, which everybody's allowed to be in. That's fine, nothing is wrong with it, but it cannot be the order in which you conduct your life. It simply cannot be. So I wanted to tell you that nothing is wrong with hoping for a better tomorrow. Nothing is wrong with hoping for great achievement. Nothing is wrong with hoping for the better life. Nothing is wrong with hoping, quote unquote. But unless it is coupled and intertwined with action in the direction of your hope, it is baseless, it is empty, and it is not hope. It is wish. And if wishes has any substance, then you wouldn't have to listen to me today. You just wish anything and it would come to light. So wishing is expecting a magic wand to solve things, and there's no magic wand. There's no magic. There's absolutely no magic in life. So I want to implore you to hope with a sense of duty and responsibility. Hope with a drive to act in the direction of your hope. And as Jim Rohn says, that you cannot change destination overnight, but you can change direction overnight at will right now and end up in a different destination 5 months, 10 months, 5 years, 10 years down the line. Because the direction in which you are going determines the destination that you arrive at. And all of us will arrive at a destination. Every single one of us who live to tell the tales will all arrive at a destination. The only difference is that will you arrive at a destination that you design, or will you arrive at a destination that was designed for you? And I think it was George Bernard Shaw who said, don't quote me on this, but there's a famous old-time quote that says that if you want to be rich, you will be rich. If you want to be learned, you will be learned. If you want to be successful, you will be successful. Only thing is that you cannot hope for these things and also do 1,000 other things that is in contradiction with the things that you hope for. Have a great morning. Always a pleasure. Hope I bring some value to you today. I hope that you have a new outlook on what hope is really all about. Thank you. Always a pleasure.